Good morning. What's going on, Fred Green? Give me a couple of seconds. So I'm having you guys vibe out to my morning vibe playlist, as we will. Show's about to start in a few, so go ahead and grab your coffee, your tea, some water, whatever you got to do. We're going to vibe out. We're going to keep it real nice and mellow. Like I said, I was going to do this for you guys, as far as just having a situation where we could just chill, relax, talk regular. Coffee is always my jam, so hopefully it'll be yours too. So show's about to start soon. Go in and vibe out. You're not gonna miss nothing. If you guys are interested in the Trucker Brown trucking show, he is going live, or if he's not already live, he's live. And he's talking to everyone about what to consider and what to be expected of you when you're going into trucking school. So if you guys want to catch that, you're more than welcome to. But everyone else, I'll be with you very shortly. All right. Let's see. Why did that just happen? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Let's see. Thank you. Thank you, Highway Journey. You make sure you get some rest, my love. I will talk with you later, my yogi sister. Definitely make sure you get some rest. I know you ran heavy last night, so. Alright, let's see what we got going on thus far. I think we got everything situated here. Got my beignets. Alright, so everyone that is on my IG, I wanted to direct you guys to my YouTube because my phone is actually about to die. I took and forgot to plug it in. But let's go ahead and get the show rolling. See if I look presentable. All right, there we go. What's going on, y'all? Let me push this back. There we go. All right, so today's morning vibe situation is sponsored by, actually everything is sponsored by Whole Foods. So I've been getting into coffee a little bit better. I'm a former, or no, I still drink tea. Let me turn this down a little bit for you guys. Let's see. It could be in the background. There we go. So I'm a tea drinker, particularly matcha green tea. And I've been getting into coffee, probably because now that I'm off the truck, me and TB still have the traumas of trucking. And so one of them is, I know a lot of people still do it, is going to get coffee. And very quickly, it became a ritual for myself and him, or should I say, him and I. And that's the one thing that we do. That was the one thing that I know stuck with us was, okay, listen, get off the truck. Instead of us getting coffee that didn't serve us any purpose or was just to get us down the street, let's get and invest into coffee that we can enjoy and we can savor and stuff. So Ray David actually put me up on it. He said, listen, won't you, do segments where you're drinking coffee, we're talking about it and stuff like that, because it's basically a part of everyone's morning routine. Like majority of America is drinking coffee or tea. So I said, that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for us to do a live. I am broadcasting IG, and it's because I'm trying to let everyone know to come over to my YouTube. And the reason why I'm telling you guys to come over to my YouTube, honestly, is because my phone is getting ready to die. So I didn't want you guys to feel like I left out or I did not think of you guys. So like I said, if you guys want, you can come chill with me on my YouTube. It's Way to Fly. It's going to be the same coffee segment that we do on our IG. And then I'm going to have the phone charged tomorrow. And we're not going to run into this problem. So everyone, go ahead and check me out on YouTube, Way to Fly, and I will see you guys over there. All right. So I did that. I ended that, y'all. I felt bad too, because we be getting it in over there. So real talk. Over coffee. Subscribe to YouTube. Way to Fly. And coffee's brewing and coffee vibes. Bingo. Okay. Crisis averted. All right, so let's hop right into this. Okay, so again, I'm home now, right? Like I'm not trucking any further or trucking any longer. And so what I had done was TB just came in here and messed with all my stuff. You can't get me together. There we go. All right, that's a lot better. So I've been on the hunt for coffee because As much as I miss Pilot's coffee or Love's and TA, I can assure you I do not. So I stepped my game up. I have a couple of coffees that I have been utilizing, but the one I fell in love with is this one by Kaitu. And I got this from Whole Foods, right? Now, what's interesting about the coffees that I've been getting into, besides them being fair trade, organic, or anything, I've been trying to find coffees that have something a little bit more extra, some type of boost, some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Some type of vitamin additive or things of that nature. So I went with this one. This is a super coffee. So it has vitamins and antioxidants in it um, to get pretty much the same benefits as matcha green tea. Like, I don't know if you guys are into matcha green tea, but if you guys get into matcha green tea, let me tell you something. It is amazing. Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm just getting into this for you guys. So I'm catching up because I actually didn't have no coffee. So I'll be pouring my first cup for you guys today. So this one was interesting. And the reason why I think I liked it was the selection of vitamins that they put in there. So vitamin B6, vitamin E, B3, B12, and vitamin D3. So let's do a quick run through of what exactly these vitamins will do for you. Well, everyone knows pretty much a basic of what that vitamin B12 is going to do. That really gives you energy. And then the vitamin D3, let's see, is going to pretty much give you the ability. It's a fat soluble vitamin. It gives you the ability to absorb calcium. So people that, they're not really good with milk and things like that. So you're going to be pretty much going to be having that D3 help you in that aid. And then the one that I like personally is the vitamin E. Vitamin E, let me see if the ladies know what vitamin E does. Let me say, because I'm pretty sure women probably are vitamin E deficient. 1 second, I have an email that just came through. Oh, okay, cool. Vitamin E is for the skin. So I said, oh, these three brothers, these are actually three brothers, like three guys. They started in their dorm room. I said, they know what the ladies want. So I've been getting into this. This, I said before, this is from Whole Foods. And so we're going to give it a whirl. I got my French press. This has been my friend. This is actually what has got me through trucking, to believe it or not, because I can't tell you many a day I would go inside, especially on a cold day, and grab my coffee, make it the way I like, and it'd still be horrible. And that just used to like literally piss me off. Go ahead and pour for you guys. Ooh, doggy. All right. And then I have this guy. This is an oat milk creamer. I do not do dairy as far as straight up, rather. I can still do some type of cheeses and stuff, but I've been weaning off of that stuff because cheese is just like sugar. It's very, very addictive. There we go. And you know what? Wow. Now, why would that be TB's cup? It's not TB's cup. TB has his own cup that he poured, or should I say I poured for him. This is my cup. So let's get into today. I don't know if you guys have checked out TB's live yesterday. And I think what was interesting about the live, this is what I took from it, honestly. If you guys didn't get a chance to check out, please make sure you guys are going to New Regime Entertainment and check it out. I think the interesting thing was two things. One was us as people have literally lost the way to have a conversation. Being able to conversate is now becoming more and more of a not only a foreign concept, it's losing its luster. And what I mean by losing its luster is there's a sense of vulnerability that happens when you have a conversation with someone, because it's really not so much of you talking, it's much of you listening. A lot of people don't know how to listen. It's simple as that. A lot of people, when they have a conversation, they go into it with the veneer of, okay, I'm going to anticipate what you have to say. I'm going to formulate my answer to it or my response. And we're going to basically having like a sparring situation that happens. And at my age, having a conversation, especially with all walks of life and different types of people, is literally the highlight of my day. I love having conversations and learning and understanding people in their through their trials and tribulations, their experiences, their triumphs. I think it's a beautiful medium to grow and to become more well-rounded and versed that people like to do. And so I understand, even with me, when people have a conversation with me, the biggest problem that people do have is that they assume that they know what's going to come out of my mouth. They assume, already, or should I say, they say, okay, well, I think you're corny, or I think you're this, or, they make the assumption. And then when they get into a conversation with me, we usually end up on one accord. Pause for the coffee break. Dramatic pause there. I don't know why coffee has this particular way of calming you down, even when you're already calm, but man, is that delicious. So, conversation is not to be used to domineer. It's not used as a tool to manipulate. It's really not a tool used for anything other than to information gather. And the interesting thing about what happened on TV's Live is that I noticed that it's a huge disconnect for people to talk. Meaning, when he's doing a show, I personally like to have a show or do a show where we can be talking at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like, someone enters into the thing and he has to let that person talk. And then, it's kind of like a back and forth situation where, there is no resolution to it. There's no, hey, you made a point. Can I banter, or not banter, but can I expand on it, or can I counter? So when I have conversations with people, the thing that I notice that a person usually says, you didn't let me finish. You didn't let me talk, or you didn't let me get my point across. And the thing is, it's not that I do that. It's because a conversation is actually concise. A conversation tells you everything you need to know about a person. That's where the whole derivative of 30 seconds of impression came from. I can tell a person by their conversation usually within 30 seconds to a minute. I can tell if, you have a bravado. I can tell if you're trying to use words, different words that you're maybe not familiar with, or a certain vernacular that you're not familiar with, to, carry on the conversation. It's not just because of my old age. It's because there's nothing new under the sun. People that have conversation usually are people that are always learning. They're people that always are expanding. There's people that's always trying to expand in a way where they can talk to as many people, because a lot of people don't know this, but TB is what you consider an orbiter. He's a person. He speaks very well. He's a person that's able to have people, almost like a prophet. A prophet had the same capabilities, if we're speaking biblically. A person that has the ability to resonate and incite and invoke a feeling from people in which they feel that they have to hear him. And so the Morning Vibes show essentially is going to be a place where it's not really orchestrated or a show to anything. It's pretty much like a I guess it'll say like if we were talking like a diary, like it's like a brain dump. You know, you get up in the morning, you got those emails sitting there. God knows how many missed calls you have or text messages. But it's nothing like pouring yourself a cup of coffee, taking 5 minutes of yourself, and really just assessing how you feel. What is going through your brain? What are your fears? What are your first thoughts? That was the one thing I started to do in the truck. I would not answer the phone. I would not respond to emails. I wouldn't look at my phone for at least a good hour. So meaning I would get up, you know, grab my coffee or make my coffee if permitted. Wash my face, brush my teeth afterwards, stuff like that. Mosey around, you know, putter around and stuff, you know, do my pre-trip, get down the road. And usually when I start getting down the road, I don't even cut on any type of music or anything. I would just listen to the hum of the engine, or listen to cars go by, or listen to that, basically that static in the air. And I did that because I was trying to reprogram or reassess my thoughts and try to identify, why do I feel one way over the other during the day? Some days I'll wake up excited to truck. Some days I would literally consider abandoning the truck. I was like, I'm done. I can't move another inch. There were certain days where I was still mulling over something that was said a week ago. There were days when I was mulling over something that happened literally in a dream, that I'm trying to like do that whole, what did the dream mean situation. It was so many things. And the thing that I realized was, I need the ability to listen. So once I developed listening, which took a while, I'm gonna say it took a good year for me to really just sit and listen. I noticed that the one thing that improved was my conversations with people. It improved my relationship in a tremendous way. It improved me asking for what I want or trying to understand how to go about it. It did a lot because the two things that we are hugely never improving, and I'm talking about people do this without even realizing they're doing it. If life is built on relationships, the two things people usually lack is how to listen and how to conversate, which are both what? The two mediums to communication. And from what I'm hearing, communication is the key. Communication is the absolute key. I communicate in a way where I don't play any games with people. Not because I'm at that age where I don't have to. I just don't feel the need to have to go there. It wastes time. It doesn't make any sense to do. And it doesn't get what the objective is, which is to understand who I'm talking to in the first place. And isn't that what we really want? All we want is for someone to understand us. Understand our struggles. Understand our fears. Understand why we do it. We just want to be understood, curtail, accepted. But I say this to people, and particularly women, because women have this a really bad, it's not bad, I'm going to say It's a quirk. It's a thing that we do. I'm guilty of it too. I've done it. We don't listen. As simple as that. 90% of women's problems will be literally absolved if they listen. The other 10% is applying. Application. Women don't listen. Girl, I hear you, but I understand that, but I can see that, but we don't listen. And then wonder why we can't have simple conversations with men. Who is our natural counterpart in life? It's like we don't have to have conversations with animals. I mean, if you talk to plants, which I do talk to my fern and my plants, you don't have to have those experiences. That's the thing that was the most blaring obvious thing was, and again, we do this all the time. We will pose a question that we want the answer to. We'll get the answer. We don't process it. We don't like it because we didn't listen to the answer in the first place. We braced ourselves, heard 30% of it. Or we got to come back ready, fire to go. And the sad part is, at the end of the day, not only was your question answered, but the thing is you missed the obvious. And the obvious was, are you going to apply it anyway? Are you going to accept it anyway? Hey, what's going on? Here's my experience. Hey, C-Love, what's going on? And good morning to everyone that's in the chat. I find it very interesting that my sisters, my ladies, the one thing that could answer all of your problems is the thing that you're not willing to do. And that's just listen. It costs you nothing to do. It's not something that's going to, like you're going to like melt or something. I mean, it's just, it's the simplest thing to do. And yet, why can't it be done? I'm going to open up the chat lines. And I'm going to see if anyone's willing. Oops. Sorry, y'all. If anyone's willing to come in, preferably a lady, and tell us why. I can definitely tell you this. People think I don't listen to them. I didn't get it at first. I've heard this before. You don't listen to me. You don't listen to what I'm saying. It's not that I don't listen. It's that I know when a tangent is forming. You're not going to, a defense mechanism that I've done in life is you're not going to pull me into your world because then you disarm me to make the decision to stop talking to you. I don't like feeling like that. I don't want to feel like when I'm talking to you and I'm saying something that either you don't like or you know that I'm saying something right, but you don't want to bend to that or give me that, because that's what a debate is. Debate is you have an affirmative and a negative, and they're both trying to sway you into it. And so what happens is I'll notice that people will do this. Like, I'll be like, listen, bottom line is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Something that a person that is neutral in your life will tell you. And that person will do one or two things. Either they will say, but see, you don't get it from this perspective. And they'll keep moving the goalposts, keep adding layers to it. Or they will shut down. And it'd be like, you gonna let me speak? But are you gonna let me speak? But are you gonna let me speak? And the sad part about it is like, in order to conversate, you have to listen. A conversation is built on listening and speaking. It is a synergy. It's a dance. It's something that, again, like I said, it's an art form. And a lot of people crack me up with this. I think it's the most hilarious thing. Oh, well, if we go hang out and stuff like that, we're going to be conversating. No, you're not. You're not conversating with nobody. You're not getting to know anybody. You think you do. You think you are. But I can assure you that a lot of people lack in conversation because this is the medium in which people want to communicate. A barrier in which I don't know what you look like, a barrier in which you have the liberty to say whatever you want. There's nothing that governs it. A person could type a whole bunch of FUB all up and down here. They have the liberty to do it. But the reason why people don't want to conversate, because let me tell you something, it's a different type of feeling when you look someone in the eye. When you look someone in their eye, this is a old thing that men would do. If I'm wrong, men, please call in, let me know. Men will look each other in the eye and shake firmly. And that was a sign as to, listen, we agreed on this. Don't go back on this. I'm going to take your word for it. And I'm looking you eye as a witness to say, okay, this is what it is. The thing I try to tell women, listening is more of a woman's thing anyway. It's almost a part of your femininity as well. You don't have to talk as much. You don't have to ask as much. A man's literal design is to pick up on the social cues and the movement of prey. Men look at us as prey. Ladies, I hate to be this way. That's just what it is. Men are predatorial. Women are more of the prey. Don't take the word as, oh my God. It's really just that simple. So men pick up on these cues. And what has been the evolution of men now, men are good listeners. They have honed their craft into listening, opposed to directing, ordering, talking. Men are playing more of a back seat now. They're looking at, oh, okay, this is what's going on. They're not saying much. That's why women's whole thing now is, talk to me. I want you to talk to me. See, back in the day, Grandpa didn't talk. Grandpa had a conversation with his wife before they got down the aisle. And she heard him and kept that going since. When they have a conversation, it's usually about, I need money for drapes, or the refrigerator broke. There was no constant validation of the love for them. None of that, yo, because what is understood don't have to be said. I'm here. You want me to take care of you, or you want me to do this and that third for you. You told me, I'm doing it. It's done. It's no need to conversate about that. So fast forward. What happened is women started smelling themselves. Women confuse equality with equity. They felt, okay, over time, I am now equal to you, and therefore it has built value, and therefore you will validate. That's not how that works. Because how men put it is, oh, you're equal, then you build a bridge. You give me half the money. You give me half the rent. And women are like, I'm sorry, say what? Because you guys believe in the art of now conversation. And conversation usually is the form used to make negotiations. So men are now perking up, right? They're like, oh, okay, all right. You want to have a conversation. You want to speak. Oh, okay. Let's talk. So you're there, you know, conversation, you letting your man know, I want A, B, C, D, E, F, G. He says, okay. Whatever you want, baby. He listens. He gives you his opinion, all that. But then what happens is you start to develop I don't like what you have to say. Because you're thinking you're having a conversation technically like with another woman or your friend or your peer. That's your man. He looks at you different, period. So when he tells you something, he's always coming from usually an unconditional or conditional love space, synonymous with like your father or, you know, a person that cares about you. And what women do is they will take that, the conversation part, and they will negate the listening. Men do a simple thing. And if I'm wrong, a man can call in. Men get all they need in their information up front. If you deviate from what they assume it is to be, they will start to find something else. They won't let you know. They won't really argue with you. They won't really like it's over to them. Because what they're trying now to avoid is the conversation developing into an argument. Don't nobody want to argue. Especially men. Now I know you're like, well, what about the Kevin Samuels? What about the Tommy Sotomayors? Well, see, those men are smart. They did was they literally took something that was a trait that women did, which was, I hate to be this way, criticize, critique, gossip. And they have somehow spun this into an empire. And it's so substantial of an empire that women come to men now. Women come to men. When technically, you don't have to do that. You hold the cards in your hand. You are literally a person that is designed to be the yin and the yang, the balance to an actual conversation. Because like I said, men talk and women are usually to listen. Now, I know it goes into the whole, well, and that was pretty much what the show is about. Do men want a boss chick? And here's the simple answer to this. This is me talking to the ladies, letting the ladies know. At what point do you stop being a boss? Is it when you go to sleep at night? Do you hang the boss tag onto the onto your shirt and put it on the, on the coat rack? When do you stop being a boss? I mean, hell, bosses at the job work 9 to 5 and they come home. I mean, it's like, the thing is, when does it turn off? You have men that are CEOs, foremans at their job, plumbers. They come home, they're fathers, they're husbands. They don't bring that veneer. The thing that women get confused is that a man has to be different when he walks out the door. He has to be different when he walks out the door. But when he comes home, his home is a sanctuary. His home is his place of where he can relax. He's safe. If he needs to bring the same veneer or decorum from work to home, the home is not a safe place anymore. It's a place of business. Exactly, Goldfield. Bosses at a job still listen to corporate at the top. Did you, Hair Experience said, did you meet your true love through this trucking thing? How can I put that? What me and Sean have is indescribable. What I will say is that in today's world, the whole true love and things like that, that's not a finish line. True love is not the end goal. Love is a daily practice. Love is it grows. It's something that you nurture. So when we speak in absolutes, we have to remember the one thing that always happens. We never take us into accountability. See, who you are today is not who you will be 5 years from now. So you taking information today and thinking that it will be applicable later, it's a wrong move. Hell, we're going through iPhones quicker than anything I ever seen in my life. So it's one of those things where you're putting the cart before the horse. You shouldn't be looking for true love. You should be looking for someone that can make you believe that love exists every day. That's a daily practice. I hope that helped hear my experience, because I know I get philosophical on y'all. My bad. But that's the truth. There is no, Disney really messed us up. There is no true love. It's who walks through life with you. I have someone that enjoys walking through life with me. Up, down, good, bad, all around. It don't matter. I have someone that is a shoulder to lean on. I have someone that is a mentor. I have someone that strives to do better. I have someone that, expects the best of me. And that's what I think the disconnect for women is. You're looking for an end goal. You're trying to put a date on it. There is no date. You have people that continue working until they're 80, 90 years old. Won't you retire? No. Because as long as my eyes is open, I'm going to get this joint, everything I got. I understand that it's no end goal. True love for me always evolving. Love is what I live. Love is what I live does. Love is never ending. So that is why I use the term true love. But that's the thing. I don't think thank you, Ray David. True love is also a term that is marketable. And it's a very dangerous thing to say. Because here's the thing. What about the people that thought they found their true love in marriage? And then they got divorced. Or things didn't work out. Those two words technically shouldn't go together. Because it's finite. It makes it seem like, okay, this is what it is. This is true. And it may not be. Not the context of Disney. Love is what love does is what I meant to type. I think love is a verb. It's actionable. So it's a thing that, like I said, you don't have to seek it because you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, when we say, hey, true love, or hey, I love, it's a verb. It's not a noun. It's an action. And love only exudes if you perform it. Because to be honest with you, love is selfish. Love is selfish. Love don't care who you love. Love don't care who you fall in love with. He don't care about none of that. That little Cupid fucker is running around causing all types of havoc. Because he know that you guys hold on to the word. It's the power in the word. That's why words mean things. Yeah, but that's what I mean here, experience. Like, if it's defined as authentic, genuine, or real, then what happens when a person thought that they had true love and then it's not what it expected to be real? Then we have now people that are saying, I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So if we just say, you know what, I have a love that is daily. I have a love that is felt. I have a love that I'm acknowledging of. That's the truth with you and yourself. You don't have to say that out. Because like I said, the one thing that we will do, a lot of women will say, oh, I found my true love. And then when it does not profess to be true, or it was a lie, or they were misled, or how they perceive it to be, then it becomes, that's not true. And to me, I think that's where a lot of disconnect comes from, is our warping of words. Because I think that love is sacred. I believe that who you love and who you're with should be with that person. I don't think it should be anything that the outside world would have a direct effect on. Gold Phoenix says, the idea of true love to me doesn't even exist. When one day you can wake up and decide for no clear reason at all that you don't want to be together anymore. Facts. That's a fact. Some people you could literally have someone that love you. You could do 30 years. They wake up and say, I don't want to be with you no more. That means for 30 years, you know what I'm saying? It was just shaky. I mean, it was like a ticking time bomb almost. Like, he could have woke up 5 years, 10 years, 3 days. You don't know when that day's coming. Hair experience, do me a favor. Call in, baby girl. Call in. Let's have a conversation about it. Because I would just love to hear your opinion on it. I would love to hear how you're doing. I think that the thing with chats is that it's hard to, get it. But no, I put the StreamYard in so that way you can call in and stuff. Morning to Larry Willier, learn to love yourself first. So yeah, no, hair experience is going to come in. Anyone that would like to come in, like I said, let's take a pause for the calls. Let's pay some bills. Listen, if you guys like content like this on this channel, this is how it's going to be. We're going to vibe out with coffee in the morning And then, like I said, I do upload my cooking videos and stuff. I do have a Patreon, so that way, if you guys want to have, especially for the truckers, particularly the men that want to put together small little meals, things like that, it will definitely be dope for you guys to come over to the Patreon. I have everything listed below. And we have here's my experience, my apologies, coming in, and we're going to let her come in and let us know pretty much the definition of true love. What's going on, my sister?
Good morning. How you doing, my
Good
sister?
morning. Hold on, let me put my headphones on. I can't hear you. Ooh,
My internet may be a
there we
little
go.
unstable because I'm riding.
Yeah, let me turn this portion off 1 second. There we go. Can you guys hear her? I can hear her just fine, but I just want to make sure you guys can hear her. Let me get a sound check real quick, guys, before Miss April bless us this morning. All right, cool.
Oh,
Back. All right, go ahead, Miss
bad.
April. All right, so
No, I was just saying. Mhm. Go ahead.
sure, no, go ahead.
Well, I wasn't trying to, you know, come in on your vibe and, just change the whole mood of things. But true love, as
No.
defined by me on a biblical standpoint, some
Mhm.
people do get it mixed up. I know who was that gold
Phoenix.
Phoenix was saying
Mhm.
something about people being together for 30 years and then, you know, something happens where he may walk in and say he's done with the relationship.
Mhm.
Something like that doesn't happen overnight. Um, there are red flags that come up throughout the relationship. And when those red flags present themselves, I think that people who say that they're truly in love need to reevaluate. It's like coming to the round table and talking about things that they're not happy with or things that they see is a red flag and talking about it. It's not something
Mhm.
that just happens overnight. True love, if you consider this person your true love, I think they do go in the beginning saying that
Mhm.
this is my true love, but the communication ends up getting broken. Things get stagnant if you do the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm just
Mhm.
speaking from experience. My marriage didn't last for 10 years. And me looking back,
Mhm.
reflecting on things, there were things that I personally didn't hold myself accountable for. I didn't speak up. I didn't, he decided to go another way. And I feel like if some of it lands on me, on him, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
And I can't say that he was my true love. I didn't go in with it like that. That's why I asked you about, Sean being your true love because I married my husband for all the wrong reasons.
I mean,
And I
this is what
know
I will say.
I got
I will
pregnant.
say, uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say that that's why I don't speak in absolutes. Now, I
Hmm.
mean, a person would argue and say, well, you married him. And if you're getting married, because men are under the impression that you ladies want to get married for love. Now, what's happening, men are understanding that, oh, it's not for love. You guys have a
Other
strategy,
reasons.
or, I mean, you have a motive. And so men are more versed in being the negotiator, being more cognitive of that, because they've been doing that before we could vote. You know what I'm saying? So it's the evolutionary edge that they have. And what men are doing, because this is what I believe it to be. Men are now hip. Men have evolved into understanding, oh, okay, this is how y'all want to conversate. You want me to technically lie, to give validity to something that you're not sure about in the first place. And so men will keep up that lie with you. Now they'll go ahead and live in their truth and do whatever they want to do, because men are more so profound in understanding that no matter what happens to you, he still has to be a man at the end of the day. He doesn't have the excuse other than that.
Right.
So
Right.
the thing that comes to, and this is what the whole being able to conversate is that us women forget that in the beginning, men tell us everything that they want us to know. Red flags included, something they didn't say it, something, and we will disregard that, thinking over time the communication will get better, he would change. That is the biggest problem. You can't have once a conversation is done, it's like a handshake. It's like, okay, I understand you, you understand me.
Mm-hmm.
This is a dead situation. And when we keep
Right.
bringing and keep, bringing this conversation back up, men take it as, okay, I need to do something else because you're just not getting it. And so they will make moves just out. There is no more conversation, which makes sense because, like I said, men
Right.
have to be that cutthroat. They don't have the affordability like women. Women can literally, pull this on another guy. You know what I'm saying? And they could be literally make a career
Yeah,
or a
they
life
could.
off of
They
being
could.
taken care of to that dynamic. So that's why I said in the
Well,
beginning,
my situation. Mhm.
no, go ahead, Miss
My
April.
situation was a little bit different. I ended up getting pregnant, and I knew I was going to have a son. And I was really
Mm,
young. I was like 22, and my thinking was very, very screwed because I grew up in a house with two sisters and my mother. And
mm.
my father was there, but he wasn't there. And me realizing that I'm having a son, all I could think about was this son of mine need a male figure. And me and my husband at the time were
Mm.
dating, and he knew that there was no love involved, but
So, Miss
I
April,
wanted my son to have this male
why did you
figure.
have a baby before marriage?
Just doing, like I said, just doing what I want to do, crazy, young, living
Mm.
footloose and fancy free.
So, do you believe that?
And
Do you believe that? Okay. So let's look at it. Let's look at it in a broader spectrum. Your son meets a woman. He loves her. He says
mhm,
true. That's his true love. But she has a baby. She has situations going on, stuff like that. Knowing what you know now, would you tell your son, you know what, take a chance on her, go and marry that girl? Or would you be a little bit mindful and say, you know what,
no, I wouldn't tell him anything.
you wouldn't tell him anything?
I would encourage him. No, I wouldn't tell him anything. He'd have to make that decision on his own because that's a life choice.
But you push
That's a
the
life.
rhetoric of true love. So if you believe in true love and he's telling you, hey, I found my true love, then why wouldn't you say, oh, okay, well then, yeah, because my thing is this, why go against your beliefs? That's the disconnect
No,
with conversation.
but I think that you are not. Maybe I'm not explaining it correctly. I do push the rhetoric of true love, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to make a decision for him. He has to make his own life decision. I will tell him I will support whatever decision he makes, and I'm not going to be biased. I'm going
But
to,
that's
if he
but that's a
decides to marry this girl, I would.
that's the thing. That's a cop
That's a
out
what?
because it's a cop out because think of it this way. If someone could have given you the heads up and it would have changed the dynamic in your life, that's valuable information. And the one thing that we don't do, we withhold information that could technically
Oh,
help
no,
the
no,
next
no.
people.
See, that's the thing. I would lay all the cards out. He has to make his own decision. I would let him know. He already knows that, I married um, his dad for all the wrong reasons. And, it just didn't work out. I was doing it for him. But
So
when
you
it
got
comes to him
married
making a choice like
to
that,
You got married so that way your son can have a
I
two-person
got
household.
married. Listen, I got married because I didn't two-person household, and I know nothing about raising a boy.
Well, I
I
mean,
had no
yeah, that's
brothers,
given.
my father, no father figures, and I wanted the best for my son. That's why I got married.
What I'm saying, this is what I'm saying about conversations.
Hmm.
When we have a conversation, and this is women, I'm speaking specifically to the younger girls, a lot
Hmm.
of things can be understood in the beginning. One of them is the thing that I always try to do is I'm listening for one, what type of time are you on? If you want sex or something like this, and there a lot of times the conversation can't go but so far. I mean, now I'm not rude or anything, but I usually know past that conversation what my next step should be. And so I get what you're saying as far as
Hmm.
when we were younger, we're not equipped with the information that we have today back then. But I think the problem is we're
Right.
still not listening as times are moving on because there's nothing new under the sun. Like I said, if true love is to be true
Right.
and you know that it's not, I would no longer push that rhetoric. I would be speaking a different tune. I will be saying, hey, you know what? True love may not be so true. But what I do know is
Genuine.
that if I if I be with somebody, there's a chance that if we communicate and that we are on the same accord and that we try and we have a daily practice, I have a longer chance of being in that relationship because that's all it is. You can only take it one day at a time.
Exactly.
You can't look at
Yeah.
it as, okay, well, all right, I did 5 years or 30 years because that's what Gold Phoenix was saying. Gold Phoenix doesn't want it where, okay, I'm investing 30 years into something because most people lose their houses after 5 years of putting into it. He's looking at it logically. He's thinking, if
Right.
I at least do one day at a time, at least I know I completed that day and I'm looking forward to the next. But see, women have, like I said, an end
So
goal.
what's
Women
most
are always
women?
trying to get to the women are always trying to get to the end goal. So when we're always thinking
Okay.
ahead, we're thinking, okay, I'm going to do this part now, but I'm trying to look for someone that I don't have to do this with any further. Meaning, usually around working or working as hard or not being a single parent anymore. It's always some type of end goal. And so when you come into a conversation with a negotiation demeanor, men, they respond that way. Oh, okay, well, if you don't want to be a single parent no more, I'm gonna need this, that, and the third, and then blah, blah, blah. And you know what I'm saying? And then that's when it becomes, like you said, you're getting into situations for the wrong reasons. Because if you're coming into something where it's like, hey, listen, I
Right.
am looking for love, I am looking for faithfulness, I am looking for validation of this, that, and the third, then that's when men can kind of say, okay, well, that's an action. I can show you that.
Right. At that time, when I was 22, I didn't know what I was looking for. These are words
Mm-hmm.
that I'm speaking on presently, after life experiences and after all the things that I've been through. At that time, I didn't know what true love is. True love wouldn't even come out
Mm-hmm.
my mouth because I really had no concept of it. My mother and father was separated, then divorced, and at the, at that age, I didn't even understand what love was. My
Mm-hmm.
grandfather used to always tell us, "Love is what love do." And to me, it took me 20 years to understand exactly what he meant.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm
So,
saying is,
true love,
what I'm saying is, it's almost like a job. If you went to a job and that job was
it is.
crummy, you no longer talk about that job. In fact, you change your whole demeanor when someone mentions that job. So let's just say if you worked at Mickey D's, right, and then you had a bad experience at Mickey D's. What you do is you change your rhetoric. You're like, yo, I am now on the negative about Mickey D's. But the thing with women when it comes to love, they use that as a springboard, as an excuse as to why they do what they do. There is no way on God's green earth you cannot see that the temperament in today's society is not based off of love. No one's talking about love. People need something more substantial than
It's not.
love. People need
You're right.
stability. security. People need financial stability and security. Those are, and men can, they quantify that way better than love. They, because to them, love is, it's a daily practice. Me being here every day, me holding you down, me have, you have access to my card, access to my livelihood and stuff. That is them showing love. They don't say it. They don't necessarily feel like they need to say it. They're showing you in daily actions. The thing that women
Right.
do is you're trying to pigeonhole and make a love that is universal now specific to you. Every man can't do that. And so when they're listening to you, like I said, when a man has a
That's
conversation
true.
with a woman, he's just looking for the basics. Okay, do you need some money? Do you need me to help you out? Do you want a baby? Because those are tangible things. Those are things that are that can happen. Now, the
I agree.
one thing women we don't do is we want all of the reward and none of the hard work. So we'll do this. Okay, well, I'm going to build my foundation, build my house. It could be shaky or whatever, but I'm gonna build my house. I'm gonna have everything presented so that way when a man comes in, he just open up the door and that's that. And to be honest with you, that doesn't make any sense because to me, the whole idea of going through life is to have someone be the good and the bad. I want to see how you are, good, bad, or indifferent
On the journey with you.
on the journey. So if
Yep.
a person, if we come to the table with, okay, well, I know exactly what I want, and this is what I want, and then you don't get it,
Mm-hmm.
then who fault is that? That's not no one's fault. That's your
Yours.
fault because you're coming to a
Your fault.
conversation doing what? You're not listening. You could technically have everything you want, but a lot of women come to the table in the negative. You should come in the affirmative. You should come with the a veneer like, okay, check this
Mm-hmm.
out. I'm here. I want to get to know you. When I get to know you throughout time, what will happen is I will make the ultimate decision into giving my womb because that's the only decision you have. That's your only ace is who you give your womb to.
Like that.
The other way around, the men have the ace with who they make a wife. And see, the thing is, the men know now. They know. See, they used to be stupid. Men used to be dumb. They used to not care about stuff like that. But we have honestly, we've been so reckless and abusive to men that men now share information way more quicker than women do. And I said this to
Yep.
the young lady last night. I said, listen, the thing that men have over women is that a man, no matter if he's considered a drunk, a drug dealer, a lush, whatever, he tells the young kids whether it's good news or bad news, he will sit them aside and tell them, us women, we don't do that. We're not willing to be honest and say, listen, I was a little hoe back in the day. And I'm here to let you know, you don't want to go that route. You don't want to be a man hater like me. You don't want to be mean and surly to men. We don't do that because we are naturally selfish. We're always thinking of our end goal. We're always thinking, okay, well, I need to be happy. And if I'm not happy, I can't be happy to no one else. And that is the worst thing to do. That's why I brung your son into it. I said, well, okay, if your son said he likes, he had found his true love, he's coming to you because you're the one that's been preaching it all his life. True love, true love, true love, true love. And so when he seeks the validation from you, who is a person that he's respect, and you flip the switch and say, I mean, whatever you want to do, I
No,
support.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't flip the switch. I
Okay.
wouldn't flip the switch. I would not do that at all. I would support him on whatever decision he made. I can't. So you're asking me what I think. What I'm trying to understand is you're asking me what I tell him. Should he or should he not?
No, well, that's the thing. When kids get a certain age, we arm them with everything they do to interact in the world. And then what
Right.
happens is once when a child becomes an adult and he goes out into the world, we have this hands-off approach. We'll be like, all right, time to put up or shut up. What I was saying is that we forget that, you know, he still needs guidance because, like you said, I had left the house or whatever. I was older and I had a child. So that lets you know for a fact, hey man, it's a 50-50 chance he may go out here and make the same mistake. Like that's like just you thinking logically. There's a 50-50 chance if I made the mistake
Right.
at this age, he's going to probably make the mistake at this age because he's from my genetics, right? So what will happen is if he comes up to you now, what happens is a
Right.
child will surpass us. They may not get pregnant at 16. They may get pregnant at 22.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we'll do is we forget that,
Mm-hmm.
listen, he's 22, he's not 16. So we have to now evolve or listen because see, now what happens is he's going to teach you some things like, oh, okay, well, that's what's happening in the world. And then you take what you've learned and you try to advise him in a way that's one crucial to him being successful. Cause that's, I would assume that all parents want their children to be successful. Right. I want you to be successful. And two, I want you to be careful because you don't want to worry about your child when he's out into the world.
Right.
So that's what I was saying.
It's inevitable.
True.
We as parents worry regardless.
But that's what I'm saying.
Regardless of what decision they make, we're gonna.
But that is why it's crucial that when we are in conversation, that not only do we instruct and direct, but we listen. Because again, like I said, it would behoove you to tell him, like you just said to me, hey, your true love. And you went into the definition of true love. And I'm not saying you were wrong. I'm not saying like by the standards of what that is. I'm saying that you basically are living in two different worlds because you believe in it, but yet it's only conditional if the mood is right, if the setting is right.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it as, like I said, either you're going to be honest and say, you know what, true love just doesn't exist. The word true exists, love exists, but technically those two don't coexist together.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just that simple. Or you could just be like, you know what, I'm just going to just have it where in my head, I hope for the best, I wish for the best, and take a leap of faith that way. So it's either faith or logic. And as a woman in today's world, we need a lot more logic than faith and hope.
It's black and white. Yeah.
I mean, well, life is black and white, to be honest with you. That's what I think. I think
gray areas.
I mean, but see, there's no gray area when it comes to you getting your paycheck. Areas. That's how I look. See, I look at life as, well, when it comes to you getting the things you want, there is no gray.
It's a whole nother topic.
No, it's the same. It has the same validity because that's what makes you get up in the morning. There are things that.
But I thought we were talking about love.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm using it as it's a segue to understand that you invest in the things that you want. If you want to get paid, you make the investment to do so. That's the same thing with love. If you want love, you invest in yourself to achieve it. You still there, Miss April?
What was that?
Oh, okay.
What'd you say now?
No, I said that it's synonymous. Love and money, these are things that you want. And when you want something, you invest in how to achieve it. So if you want, like I said, you wanted to be a truck driver. So you invest in it. You learned it. You took the test. You got your CDL. You know what I'm saying? You invest in it. You want it. You want love. Women that want love, they invest in it. They try to seek out, okay, what do men want? They try to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to have a certain type of man? It's all relative. I think the thing that with women, particularly our sisters, our Black women, is that you guys think you can put a date on it. Love comes at the most inopportune times. Love does not give a hell that you're trying to be a boss chick. They don't care about none of that.
Exactly.
It just comes.
Exactly.
Love is something that you can't put the date on, but a lot of people, what
Right.
they do is they put the cart before the horse. So like I said, a lot of women will have men's children. A lot of women will have, hey, well, I'm going to pretend to be this type of woman to have this type of man. There's a lot of things that they do the investment on that does not perceive the thing that they want to profess to have. And like I said, if women want love, if we're thinking about this logically, why do we go about it in the way that we do is a form of desperation, because love is supposed to come, right? Love just supposed to come if we're using your logic or if we use the logic of most people.
What they looking for? They didn't write down their list of things and don't know what they're looking for.
But the thing that, like I said, love is a verb. It's not sitting on the corner. It's not Love is not a, oh, if I hit these markers, I'm going to get it. No, love is earned. You have to earn someone's love. You have to earn someone's trust. You have to earn someone faithfulness. That is earned. That's not something that's just given.
Oh, absolutely, I agree.
That's it. So that's just, I mean, like I said, when I hear people, like I said, when you ask me, hey, is TB your true love and stuff like that, TB is I mean, TB's a blessing. He's someone that, he appeared. Like that's the best way to describe
You know
it.
what? And I see that. I see that with y'all. Yeah, I see that with y'all too. I love the vibe. I am
Yeah,
really
that's
digging the vibe.
I appreciate that.
It's a
Yeah, I mean,
blessing.
it's a blessing. It's something where, like I said, I could have
That
not
doesn't
been
happen often.
actually, it does. Believe it or not, it happens for a lot of women. But women, they, like I said, they come to the table with the veneer like, okay, what are you bringing to the table? And they don't see before their very eyes the blessing. Like I said, they'll look at it in
Okay, wait.
a
So,
negotiation standard.
so how did y'all meet? If you don't mind me asking, how did it happen? Because you're saying that it does happen quite often.
So
I see
okay,
it, but I don't see it like that, like y'all
okay, so
two vibe.
so essentially what happened, um when I interacted with TB for the first time, I was married. I was team driving with my husband. And so TB at the time is a thriving YouTuber. He's an awesome resource for trucking, right? And so,
Right.
he's at the time he was working with other trucking couples, other trucking people, things like that. So that's how I met him. As
Mm-hmm.
time progressed and I was starting the exit from my marriage, because my husband and I are estranged. So we're almost at the point where we're completing our estrangement requirement and will be divorced. So we're estranged. What's happening was, because I'm doing the whole I'm a strong
Okay.
woman and I'm not letting no one know what's going on, TB was the only person that seen there was a difference in my eyes. He was like, yo, you used to take pictures. Yo, you used to do videos. Yo, what's going on with you? And I just was like, oh, I'm good. And, I just, thinking that I'm okay and thinking that everything is okay. But him as a man, he's noticing, wait a minute, there's something different with you. It's a blank stare in your eye. So, like I was saying earlier, men are naturally predators. So they can tell when something's off. They can see, oh, well, you're not as strong of a runner. The gazelle is not as strong as a runner, or you're limping now. Like they fish out, because lions, they fish out the weak and the children. They don't go for the fastest. They go for the ones that they can catch. That's how men
Right.
get with the women they want. They go for the ones they can get. So
I
one
like
day I
when you
just
said that.
they do. They go for the ones that they can get. And so I was like, we're just having a conversation. And then he noticed, like, he said, it was something along the lines of, hey, you're talking to me more, and is everything okay and stuff. And I finally was like, well, I'm separated. And he was like, what? I said, yeah. I said, I'm separated and stuff, and this and the third, blah, blah, blah. And that's when he pretty much approached me. And he was like, okay, all right, well, I'm gonna snag you up right now. And so moving along or developing that relationship now, or dating him and stuff like that, when I asked him, I said, well, why would you take a chance on me? You have women that are suitors, you have women that, you could have been with and stuff like that. He said, what I liked about you is that even though you were going through what you're going through, that didn't stop you from doing what you had to do as a human being. He said, you didn't talk about your husband in a derogatory way. You didn't put him down. You didn't stop working. You did all the things that as an adult you were supposed to do. So he said, if I'm looking at this logically, I can trust you with my life. I can trust you if something was to happen to me. And so these are the qualities that a man is looking for a woman to be actionable in. He doesn't care really technically what you look like and stuff like that, because once a man takes you into his world, you are his. He don't care what everyone else is talking about.
Right.
So that's what happens. So when I segue into him, now mind you, as I'm now with him, my husband has moved on to a new relationship. We're going through the procedure of that, separation, starting the procedure for divorce. What was happening was it started to get aggressive when I started to show that I'm single and show that I'm available and stuff like that, because I'm still dating TV. It's a day. It's not all the way solid. You know what I mean? We don't know. I'm not putting my eggs in one basket at that time.
Okay.
So what happens is
I understand.
I'm
Now
going through,
and
so as my estranged husband is throwing daggers at me, TB took the liberty and said, you don't have to go through this alone. You're going through a bad time and you don't have to go through this alone. I will stand by your side. I will, you're with me now. And so when that happened, it actually just basically enveloped into a relationship that it is today. Now, if I did what most women would do and say, well, I got to close this door to open up that, or God has something in store for me, or I need to wait, I would have missed out on a blessing. I would have missed the opportunity. I would have been thinking, well, everything is not right and I'm waiting and I know what's best for me. No, I don't. God tells you exactly what you need. And he does not, listen, you don't have no control over this. He's going to give it to you. It's either you're going to take it or you're not. That's it. And people forget, God actually plays practical jokes on people. He give you exactly what you want. If you profess it, if you say this is what I want, he'll turn. Let me tell you, I've had women say all the time, oh, I don't want no kids, or I don't want this, or I don't want that. Then why are you pregnant 2-3 times? Why do you have these things? Because like I said, he knows exactly what you want. He knows it better than you think you know yourself. And he's going to deliver each and every time. So the thing that I did was I just listened. I listened to my heart. Yes, technically, was it the best time for me to be getting out of a 10-year relationship? 4 of those years were marriage, to turn around and be in a relationship with the most controversial person on freaking trucking YouTube? Hell no. But it was a chance I was willing to take. Because I said, you know what? That's what I wanted in the beginning of my life anyway. I just wanted to be with someone that wanted to walk through life with me. So my prayer was answered. It was just not answered in the way than what I expected. And so
so it wasn't as black and white as you expected it.
No, it was black and white. It was this. It was like, yo, either you gonna get with this winner, or you're gonna be crying about a chicken dinner. Like,
you said it wasn't quite like what you expected. So God surprised you with the way
it was. I mean, it was this. It was either you gonna take this or you gonna take that. What you gonna do? it was not, oh well, this has to be right and there's a gray area and what if it was A or B, choose.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
as a woman, I said, the fact that he just, like I said, what Sean did was very old school of him. He said, "You ain't got to go through that. You don't have to have someone tear you down and talk bad about you and try to ruin your reputation and try to destroy you. You ain't got to do that." He said, "In fact, I'll stand by your side, and I want to see him do that to me, to a man." That's what he did. He just was like, "You don't have to go through that." And so when I went through what I
That's
went through,
powerful.
yeah, people were saying, "Oh, you weren't supposed to do that," but that is what a woman expects for men as far as protection anyway. They expect someone, because we're of the weaker sex. So there are certain things that at the end of the day, you know,
Right, right, right.
a man is just going to logically step up to the plate in those regards. I mean, we see it with men that marry women with children. We see it with men that, you know what I'm saying, they take on the responsibility of another man's child. So it's not a far-fetched thing for a man to do. It was just like, well, wait a minute, you're with this girl and she's still married. But here's the thing. I've been by myself for a year. My husband not one time came up and said, "Hey, why are you on a live by yourself?" Or, "Hey," he never did anything. He was living his life.
Two fly.
Sure.
Let me interject just 1 second. This is why
Uh-oh, did we lose you? Oh, there she go.
I respect your
Uh,
journey, and I would. I'm breaking up. Can you hear me?
I think so. You wanna
Hello.
call in and come back in?
Can you hear me?
You're cutting in and out. You wanna call back in? Oh, she went out. Miss Here's my experience. Call back in. Let me put the thing up for you. Call back in. I think you were going in and out. You know how it be. But that's all I'm trying to say, y'all. Just listen. That's all I want my ladies to do, is just listen. You don't know when that you don't know when you're supposed to listen. And that was the thing I did a whole year of. I was trying to develop, when should I be listening? I can talk with the best of them, but when should I be listening? And listening it's universal. Listening is understanding social cues. It's understanding red flags. It's understanding when first of all, a lot of men are honest in the beginning. They will tell you exactly what it is from the beginning. We just don't listen. A man will tell you, "Listen, baby, all I want is sex." And y'all will think, he say that now. Whatever. He's telling you from the gate. I respect a person that's honest. I respect a person that, I honestly, to be honest with you, what I've been doing in life, and I've been doing this for a long time. When someone tells me something, I believe it. I'm not talking about what I read or heard or gossip. I'm talking about when someone has a conversation with me, I believe it. If someone says, "Yo, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah," I take it for face value. And guess what I do? Now, after that conversation, I'm going to hold you to that standard. And then we'll see how this goes. And if I need to have another conversation to negate or go back on what you initially said, that is the ultimate red flag. Wait a minute, you told me that you don't like mayonnaise. But since we've been together, all you do is douse your sandwiches in mayonnaise. Do we need to have a conversation? Like, it's the power of discernment. You have to listen in order to be able to negotiate, to be able to conversate. This is how we are as far as in primitive standards. I don't know why we compare ourselves to lions, tigers, and bears and shit. No, it's about communication. It is absolute communication. Weeby Truckin said, logic. It's something I talk to my daughters about all day. We think we can build a man. We think we can shape potential. Why put that on ourselves? That's not my purpose on earth. My purpose on earth is not to. Women are biologically designed to be strong enough to take care of themselves and their offspring. That's the truth. Meaning, if you had to protect yourself in a fire and protect your child, you're strong enough to protect both because you want to make sure that the offspring makes it. And men, because they understand that that's a woman's daily worry, is her child. Men are designed to procreate with as many women as possible. So that way, hey, at least my legacy goes on. Men are designed to procreate with as many women as possible, as humanly possible. That's why a man at 90 can have a baby with, you know, he can have a baby with 9 different women. A woman cannot have 9 pregnancies in one cycle. She just can't do it. She has to wait. She has to incubate that motherfucker and you know what I'm saying? And wait and let her body snap back. That is why it's like that. That's just biology. And so like I said, we're trying to merge things that don't mix. And we get tripped up with that every single time. And it just pains me to see my women go through this. It pains me, yo. It just do. Oh, we have Miss April back in 1 second. We lost you there for a second, Miss April.
I know, right? And it's still acting up. But what I was going to say is when you was explaining how TB, the type of man he is going to come and uplift a woman like you with what you're going through. I mean, and you made that choice regardless of what your circumstance was. That was my situation with me marrying the man that I did, knowing that I was going to have a boy. And to put icing on top of the cake, it was not his child, and he knew that.
So you were having
He wanted to
another
help me raise
man's
his child.
Okay, so you were having someone
Yep.
else's child, and he stepped up to the plate in that regard.
He
Okay,
yes. And
I
it
mean
was
here.
not about me. It was about my child.
Mhm. I
It wasn't
mean
about what I wanted.
that's a rare thing, man. I think people don't.
Very rare.
They don't. Yeah, they don't understand that those type of circumstances are not the norm. And so
No.
this is what will happen with women. They'll take something like what I'm saying or what you would say and assume, oh, that will happen for me. And the one thing my grandma used to tell me is that it's not that what's meant for you is meant for me. It's not earned. You know what I'm saying? You haven't earned, you don't know what I've been through to get to the point where that blessing was given to me. You have no idea. You have no idea what I've been through to have God say, whoo, let me take a load off a 2-fly bag. Go ahead, girl. Here you go, girl. Here's a real man, girl. Lord knows you've been trying. Like, you know what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? I look at it as I don't look at on the other side of the fence to say, hey, what you got going on? No, I'm a person that, like I said, and I feel you on it. It's like, as women, now that they have it where, because to me, I think being a woman now is more pressure than anything. Because now all eyes are on us, particularly as Black women. Like we can't listen, you can't step out of line ever. Because it's just too much pressure.
Be strong. You
gotta be strong. You can't cry. You can't. If you get upset, oh, you're being angry. It's just so much pressure, and that's why I just I result back to the thing that I'm afforded, and the thing that I'm afforded is my femininity. I have the right to cry. I'm supposed to be emotional. Why would I disrespect what God has blessed me to be, which is a woman? That's a beautiful thing. And so my whole Yeah, I
But
don't rebuke it.
I won't let people expect me to be strong. I'm not going to let that break me as a
Mm.
black woman either.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
they
is
could
what I
throw that
tell a
title
lot of
on
women.
me.
What's wrong with just being a woman? I mean, everyone knows you're black. What happens when you just live your life as a woman? Like, what happens if April is a trucker? She's an awesome
They don't view it
mom.
like that.
She likes she likes to knit and she likes to twerk to Megan Thee Stallion. What happens? You still live your life. You're still dope. You're still you. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
when you take the word that they use in a negative connotation and you take it out, now you're just a human being. You're just a woman. It's like, okay, I'm just a woman. And that's the beautiful thing in it all. That's why women empowerment groups, they got it wrong because they when we do the whole black white thing, no, I'm just a woman. Like, let me be a woman. Let me have the things that are afforded to me. What's afforded to me is that I am emotional. I have a different perspective of life. I am a natural person to nurture. I'm a person that is to cuddle and to hold
Hmm.
and to you know what I mean. Like, that's my place. It's not something that I rebuke. It's not something that I should be ashamed of. It's not something that I should be ridiculed for. It should be none of that. That is your natural state. When we're emotional, that's why like with me and TB, me and Sean, it works for us because he is uber masculine. I'm uber feminine. That's it. I'm not trying to be no boss in the house. Ain't none of that going on. He is the man. I'm the woman. It is the let me say something. It's the simplest role ever. It's simple. There's no
Yin and yang.
confusion. Yeah, it's yin and yang. That's it. It's no confusion. There is no
Right.
competition in the house.
A nice balance.
That's it. It's a balance. So
The triple
it's a
beam is balance.
yeah. There is like, you know, TB said this. He said, you know, he's the man. Do you want to be the man? And I told him, hell no, I don't want to be no man. He's like, well, it's simple. It's just that simple. It is not as complicated
Right.
as people think. He's like, you don't want to be the man if you wanted to. And that was what the conversation was about. He was like, all right, check this out. If he broke his back or something, God forbid, can I hold down the household as he's born and raised to do? Because men are born and raised to take care of women. Like, that's how they're taught. You got to take care of women, whether their mama taught them that or their daddy did that. Whichever way, they're more inclined to take care of women. And so I told him, and this is like an early conversation. I should bring back those lives. In fact, I am. I said,
You
if
should.
that's yeah, I'm gonna bring back those lies. I said, well, then if that's the case, then I said, I'll tell you what. If you're giving me the leeway to be myself and to do whatever the case may be, then I should be able to reciprocate that. And so the one thing that we did was um have access to each other's accounts. So I have his card, but he also
Social
has mine.
media.
Everything.
Oh, oh, you talking about bank account?
I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about all accounts. Anything that has an account,
Okay.
me and TV have accounts to. We have
Okay.
access to. And it's not because we don't trust each other. It's because, well, what happens if something happened to that person? I should have accessibility to it. I should, you know what I
Right.
mean, and vice versa. And so it was one of those things where if we're looking at this logically and we're giving trust to people, because like I said, we're going to equate it to sex. If you give the thing that makes you special, which is your womb, you should be able to give your money to your man. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, that's just what it is. And so
Yeah.
as women, because we're not trained or molded to do that because, again, like I said, us women, we won't give the drip. We will hold back and say, "You gotta make your own decision, like I did." You know what I mean? I can tell you, but you're gonna have to make your own. We don't see men don't do that. Men will say, if you have sex with this girl and you get her pregnant, you are going on child support. Whether you got to live with that one for the rest of your life, if you gonna have to have the course, and men are honest in that. Us women, that is the one thing that we don't have. We don't have it where we are honest with each other and say, listen, my sister, I feel where you're coming from, but listen, I think that you may have looked at this wrong, or maybe you didn't look at it this way. Because it is hard for women to even begin to think I'm less than a woman. That's a hard pill to swallow.
It is very hard,
And
especially
so,
when you think you got it all together.
exactly, because that's what they expect us to have. But to me, I think it's a detriment to the community because we do not live in the logic state. In order for you to be emotional, you have to have a sense of logic. You have to have some type of sensibility. You can't be running around willy nilly with all the emotions if you don't know how to refrain or to discern or to conversate and to basically listen and to do these things that are needed for you to be valid in the first place.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like I said, when TB does his show, and that's a thing that we're doing now, me and TB are together. Okay, boom, shocking, gone, done. Now we have to get back to work. I have things that I have to achieve. There's things that he has to achieve. It all goes into the same pot. It all goes into the same household, and we're all on one accord and one goal.
Right.
The communication has already been had. So now it's the daily practice. See, I don't have to have we don't have to keep having conversations about, do you love me? Do you want me? Do you this, do that? We go to bed together every night. We wake up together and we do what we have to do because we take it one day at a time. We understand that we're going to get older. We understand that, things ain't going to be moving and shaking like it used to. We know that. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. What matters is that every day we assess our respect for ourselves, and in turn, we respect each other. Because it's an individual thing. A lot of people rely on other people to carry on their love, carry on their happiness. And that is
Some people
something that's
never
not
let
fair
it
to
be
either one.
or
Bingo.
validate them.
Bingo.
Some people, it's some people actually have to have that though.
Hmm.
I don't, I don't understand why, but I don't know what it is. But I have a couple of friends that have to have that.
See, I look at things as this. Everyone's here for a reason or a season. I know what
Hmm.
I'm here to do. And that's just where I live. That's how I live. I live as, dude, I ain't no good to no one if I'm not straight. I'm not good to nobody if I'm not together.
Right.
So I always am working on me. Like I'm always working on me. As much as I would love to help people, as much as I would love to get unsolicited advice, as much as I would love to do that, it doesn't help anyone if
If
I
you're not
don't
together.
stand on it myself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Mhm.
like I just can't live in that type of environment anymore. So the thing, like I said, the thing I urge a lot of women to do is one, just listen. That's your God given talent. Women are actually great listeners. Half of us should be working for the FBI. All the gossip and stuff we didn't heard, all the drip we didn't heard, all the
Right.
the foolishness we didn't heard. We should be able to be private detectives by nature, but it's a thing. Like I said, we use it not in the correct way. If a woman listened to a man in the beginning, I swear you would get everything you want. Because men tell you exactly what they want in the beginning. They do. I
Right.
want sex, or I want a whore, or I want a wife, or I want to jump off. They'll tell you that.
Yeah, they sure will.
They will. And then we be the ones with the whole thing of, okay, well, I heard you, but I'm gonna walk away from the table and come with my own opinion. And that's where women fail every single time.
I'm gonna put my niece onto your show. so she can listen to you speak, because she think I'm old fashioned. She think I don't know, maybe she could hear it from somebody younger.
Sure, absolutely.
She could understand. So she just
Absolutely.
need.
I mean,
I'm gonna replay this for her so she can watch it.
absolutely. Like I said, I tell everyone at the end of the day, it's not even no, like, I don't do the whole preaching religious thing because I'm not that. I'm spiritual nonetheless, but I just try to be logic because the
Hmm.
biggest thing that we don't have is a woman that's willing to speak on both sides of the spectrum. Like,
Exactly.
let me tell you something. I got women that don't come to me because they know I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna look you dead in your eyes, sister, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. Why? Because I love you. Why would I let you continue to do the wrong thing? It's
Exactly.
beyond me. And
Hmm.
I can't. I just think that that's where I'm at. Like, that's what TB even says. He said, you
That's
know,
sharing the knowledge, sharing what you've been
sharing the
doing, what
knowledge,
you know, and all
and
too often we don't get that.
yeah, that's the one thing. That's the one thing women, we don't have as women. We
Hmm.
don't have someone that will be honest. If a woman's honest with us, it's usually too damn late. The woman, she be 50 years old talking about something. You know what? Maybe you should be nice, some girl. I mean, I know I've been mean to your daddy for 40 years, but you know what, girl? Don't do that. And it's like, Mom, I've been looking at you all this time. What do you mean? It's like you lied to me. Like, it's just it's the weirdest thing. And like I said, I go with the times. That see, my grandma did that. She went with the times. Like, my grandma would be, you know, she'll be a person that would bring him his food, and then maybe it was when my grandfather didn't really want to have dinner at the dinner table, she brought it up to a tray. She always was inventive. She always had the foresight to say, this is what he wants. Okay, I'm gonna do that. No one had to tell her. It was just like I said, it was just her listening and picking up on the cues of him and saying, okay, well, you know what? He had a bad day today. I'm not going to tell him to come downstairs and eat. If he wants to go upstairs and
Right.
eat and be in his room, so be it. Because
She was
she just
thinking
looked at,
ahead.
she was thinking ahead. So therefore, she was always just listening. She's always like, if I needed something, I could maybe cry about, oh, I want this Crayola box, and she would just get it. It's because
She
she
was
just was
very
all
attentive.
very, very intuitive, very good at listening. And therefore, to me, she was a superwoman. I'm like, how do you do it? How do you always know what to say? How do you always know what to do? And it was just because she
She
listened,
listened, present in the moment.
present in the moment. She never put herself before, because she always said, you know what, I know I'm better at listening and providing. And that was something that she did like effortlessly. That's what I want to be. I want to be a person that, when I know TV so well. I know how he likes his coffee. I know those things, but there's other things that as he grows, he changes, and I become more and more of a listener in that. So when TV said, hey, I want to do a podcast show or this and the third, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Then I know you need the house to be quiet around a certain time. I
Hmm.
know you need this. I know you need that. I check in on him. So it's a thing. Like I say, he's providing his portion, I provide mine, and we just have this circle going.
I think
And
that's
it's
the
an
way it
orb.
should be. Hmm. It's
Yeah.
like a wheel constantly oiled. It's moving, free
Bingo.
flowing.
Bingo. And we both maintain it. We
Hmm.
both maintain it. No one, I'm not, he doesn't, TB doesn't make me happy. TB maintains that I am happy. So I'm happy, but he maintains that for me because he knows I love my fabulous house. He knows I love cooking. So he maintains that. But that's something that he's seen. He said, oh, you like doing this. So I'm going to maintain it. Because that's where men get off on. They get off on seeing, if they see their woman's happy and they know that a Snickers and a warm bubble bath and a nice meal out is what keep you happy, they will do it each and every time. I'm talking about like clockwork. But
Hmm.
if you switch up and you be like, okay, well, now I want to wear weave and I want to go, they're going to be like this. Who the hell was you?
Yeah, who you been talking to?
Exactly. You ain't do that. You ain't do this for 73 years. What you mean? What you talking about, Ella? No, no. Go back to the regular girl. Ain't nobody trying to spice up nothing. Men hate spicing stuff up. Personally, I think it's the funniest thing because they're so stable. They're like they do the same thing all the time. So when you mess it up, they're like, "You just trained me with this condition. I can't keep up with you, Ella. Like, damn it! Like, what are you talking about now?" And so that's what I'm saying. When men get in the groove, when they get good in that groove, as women, we got to be remembering and saying, "Damn, you know what? I should have put this in the contract earlier. I should have said, I
Right.
like happy Sunday brunches. Damn." So we do it to
I,
ourselves.
I like being spontaneous.
Yeah, you should have said that in the beginning. You should see.
Exactly.
We'll lie. We'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a home girl," knowing damn well you like to go to the club during the week, and then he'd be looking at you like, "I thought
What
you
you
said you were a
doing?
good girl. What you doing?"
Mhm.
And that's what happened. And that's where the disconnect comes because we don't mean to do it, but it's because we're so scared. We're like, "All right, listen, this is what I want." And then you listen to the guy and then you're like, "Ooh, okay. All right, let me lie and say that I like that, but I'm going to change that. I'm going to change him." And then that's when the breakdown of communication because they're looking at it as, "Listen, you came to the table, you told me what you want, I'm going to go and do it." And if you deviate, because usually women are the women that deviate first, we're the
Yeah,
ones
you're
that
right.
deviate first. We will say we want this, and then we get it and say, "No, I want that." And then we turn around and say, "Okay, well, wait, I wanted this color." And then we turn around and say, "Well, I want 2 kids now." And they're like, "What?" Wait, time out. I remember back on our first day. It's funny how men remember things like that, but they're supposed to because they're the negotiators. They know, okay, when you come to the table, let's hear what you got, girl. And if they hear a better situation, they usually go with that woman. If they have a better candidate, they usually go with that woman. And so, like I said, it's a thing where I think that we can learn from men, but we actually need to trade insider secrets with each other. So, like I said, having these conversations and having where I want women to come in more because we hear from the men all the time, but we don't hear
Yeah.
from women in a healthy way.
All right. This is powerful. This is
Where
really
you on your where
powerful.
you on your way to, April?
I don't know. It's a whole nother conversation.
Okay. Well, listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna what's to call it. I have a couple of emails I have to do. I gotta conclude this. Miss
Okay.
April, you are a friend to the channel. Are you on
Thank
IG?
you. Yeah. I follow you.
Okay. Okay, good. I'm gonna follow you back. And like I
Okay.
said, this is happening every morning. So this is gonna be my
Okay.
thing I do every morning. And
Okay.
I'm gonna keep the topics where, like I said, is to me, just having coffee talk to me it's
Hmm.
one of those things that it, it, it's so necessary, especially for the
It
women.
is.
And I'm glad that women
I
are
agree.
coming in because, like I said, again, I want the women to come in. I want the women to be heard because it's really hard on us. But if we have
Hmm.
a platform where it's no judgment, you know what I'm saying? Like we're not here to judge, ain't nobody tearing nobody down, but we're breaking through in a way where, okay, if you learn something, if I learn something, we don't know who life we can change. We don't know who,
Exactly.
received this message. So, I'm so glad we had this though.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Miss April, call back tomorrow. Call
I
back tomorrow.
I will do my best.
Absolutely. You be safe out there, driver, okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely. You have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. That was Miss April, everybody. Listen, this how it's gonna be. Morning vibes. We're gonna have our coffee. I'm copying TB's show lineup. I'm gonna have a little story time because I know y'all be like, "Girl, you and I be doing story time." I'm getting better at it, and we're gonna open up the phone lines. And like I said, I really, you know, I want the women to call in. I want the women to be um, not scared to. It's not really telling your story, but it's more so just having it where we're developing a respect and a integrity with each other. That's the one thing I envy about men. Men have the ability to utilize their integrity to achieve things. Two men could be at odds and they'll push their ego aside to come to some type of agreement, especially when it comes to like money or acquiring things. And I in a perfect world, I wish that us women can do that. There's a lot of things we can learn from men. And as a woman that has, I'm talking about, Lord, I've been through some stuff. I don't think that any of those things have anything to do with my future. And my future is to just keep pushing, just keep obtaining peace, just keep honing the craft of being a woman. So I'm so glad you guys ride with me today. If you guys want to support the channel, listen, you guys can hit the Cash App at waytwoflybaby. Make sure you guys are following me on IG. I put a lot of my content as far as my flat lay photography. I don't know if you guys know this, but me and TV are going to the gym every day. We rest on the weekends, but we do the gym 5 days a week because TB is going through a lot of a rehabilitation stage. And I think it's just very interesting seeing his journey. It's amazing nonetheless. I think I'm gonna keep it around this time, pretty much around the time TB does his trucking school. So I'm gonna say it's probably around like 7:38, and we'll go for about an hour or two. Ladies, I encourage you guys to call in. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to hear from you, ladies, and we can trade insider secrets and we can vibe and stuff like that, and really just have it where we have a place that we can go that's a safe haven and non-judgmental and stuff like that. But beware, ladies, because like I said, we're here to learn. We're not here to impress upon. You know what I'm saying? We're here to be in conversation, and conversation is just as much as talking as listening. So we be trucking. We be trucking. Oh, y'all broke that. Welcome to the Players Club. Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to do it. That was too cute. So I drive days, so I can tune in during my shift. Absolutely. Like I said, I am totally down for the get down. And I'm trying to, one second, let me go ahead and open up and have you guys vibe out to my playlist. This joint is so dope, by the way. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. My chill out music. And where is it? Bingo. There we go. Uh, this is my vibe music, man. Let me tell you something. I love this genre. So listen, if you need your trucking needs or your trucking school tips or how to be a better trucker, make sure you guys are checking out Trucker Brown. He goes on live in the morning. If you're in the hot mess, if you're into the drama, we got something for that too. We have New Regime Entertainment where it get ratchet. It does. I try to bring a more feminine energy and vibe, keep it nice and cool, relaxed, sophisticated in the morning. We can vibe. It's pretty much like a diary dump. We just talking about any and everything. And then I do the cooking. I do have a Patreon now. You guys can come over if you guys want to know ways that I was doing cooking on the truck that will not only save you money, but you don't need a lot of equipment to do. Hit me up on my Patreon. Definitely come check me out on my Instagram. And like I said, if you guys want to support the channel, the easiest way to do it, just share the content. Share it, like it, tell other people about it. Make sure that you're subscribed and hitting the bell notification. And per usual, guys, listen, man, just stay safe out there on that road. Stay safe on the road. Protect your energy at all times. And make sure that at the end of the day, you love you first. I'm out.